Now when you are clear with the reason for doing calligraphy drills, let's begin our lesson. Open your workbook 1 on Procreate app. We will be working on drill sheet 1 and drill sheet 2. We have already seen how to download your workbook, brushes and color palette from the resource section of the project. We have also seen how these worksheets are arranged in layers in lesson 3 of this project. Go to your layers panel and open the layers drill sheet 1. Make sure that the checkbox is ticked. Open this drill sheet 1 and now we will be working on the layer above it, that is your practice sheet 1. So we will be working on this. If you notice that drill sheet 1 has its name and on the left side there is a lock, and this lock helps you to prevent writing on this sheet. It says that lock layer selection. It asks you for cancelling, unlock or open layers. So it means you will not be able to write on these layers until unless you are unlocking it. Let's go to your sheet, practice sheet 1. This is how your iPad screen looks when you open the drill sheet 1. Now hold your Apple Pencil in your left hand or in your right hand depending upon your dominant hand, and let's start with our drills. So let's zoom in and make sure that we are on layer, the practice sheet 1. We need to remember the law of gravity while working with our Apple Pencil. So when we are coming down, we will be putting more pressure, and when we are going up, we are giving lesser pressure on Apple Pencil. So when we are coming down, Apple Pencil will create thick strokes, and when we are moving up, Apple Pencil will create a thinner stroke. So while moving up, apply less pressure, and while coming down, apply more pressure. To help you achieving thick and thin strokes, we will be using pressure sensitive color changing brush. This color changing brush is Zig Fuudbury. I have provided this to you in the resource section. Now select any of the color from the color panel and then let's get ready. I have taken blue color. Two fingers tapping on the screen removes all the strokes or all the work we have done so far. Okay. So let's start and recheck that we are on our practice sheet 1. Let's start with the downward thick stroke. So these are the exercises we are going to do, and we are starting with the first one. So when we are looking at it very closely, we are seeing dots. You can make your size 9%. And if you look at the dots, it starts with a dot and it is showing you directional arrow. That arrow is going down. So we are starting from above, from this line, and then coming back down here as a thick stroke in the direction of the arrow. So we will be completing this, doing the number 1 down, thick down strokes. After completing this, when you feel comfortable, then practice on your own on this space that is provided. Okay. And make sure to follow these slants, because these are the slants we are going to follow throughout to create our basic strokes and to create our letters and words, etc. And we will learn more about these guides in our next lesson, and then we'll come to know how much space each letter consumes or each basic stroke consumes, and that will make easier for you to understand. Try making couple of strokes, and I would recommend you to practice these strokes daily so you develop a strong muscle memory for your hand. Next is the thin upstrokes, and we will start with looking at the arrow and the dot. So dot is here, it means the stroke is starting from down here, and arrow is going upwards, means our stroke will go up. So we will start from here and we will go up till here. So that means that when we are going up, we need to apply lesser pressure on our Apple pencil. Okay. So we will try to draw absolute straight slant lines without a wobbly line. See, this is wobbly, so we need to make it straight. So make it straight and try and give less pressure as possible. And when you feel comfortable doing this, then try making on your own on the space provided under practice on your own here. Now when we see on the top layer, we are seeing that there are some strokes 3, 4 and 5 and 7. 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. These strokes help you to achieve a good control over your Apple pencil and to use it very confidently. Next one is thick to thin. It is, if you are seeing it from the top, the dot is there and the directional arrow is there, means it is starting from here and ending towards here. And what we need to do is, if we look at closely to this stroke, it shows that there is a pressure when we are coming down, pressure, and then gradually we are decreasing our pressure and making it thin. Okay, so let's make it. This will help you gain control over your hands and on Apple pencil, both. It will develop your muscle memory. This exercise is very important and very useful when you are creating strokes for letter G, or if you are trying to create letter Y, etc. The important point is, when you are starting from here, it should gradually decrease, the pressure should gradually decrease. It should not be abrupt like this, and it should not be like this. So pressure should be gradual, and once you are feeling confident, just try making it on your own on this space. So this one is wrong, this one is right. Now the next one is number 4, which is showing light from the top and more pressure on the bottom. And the dot is starting from the top and it is going downwards, the directional arrow. So from when we are starting, it means that we need to give a little pressure and then gradually increasing pressure as we are coming down, right? So we are creating the strokes like this. It's again a gradual transition, but this time from thin to thick. So trace these strokes and following all these directional arrows and on these points if you are trying to make it. And when you feel comfortable tracing few of them, try making on your own in the space, practice on your own here. Now we have completed this drill sheet 1 and we will be moving on to our drill sheet 2. Now we will again open our layer panel and now we will be closing all these. We will be putting an off to these practice check boxes and drill sheet 1, and we will be opening our drill sheet 2 and we will be going to our practice sheet 2, your practice sheet 2, and tick the check box so that you are able to write it. Otherwise what happen is, if you are trying to write on this, it is showing that hidden layer, means you haven't checked the tick mark. So open this checkbox, tick it, so that you are able to write on this practice sheet number 2. Okay. So next drill we are doing is, if you notice, it is thin, thick and thin. So when it is starting, the dot is there. When it is starting from here, it is starting thin, and then gradually it is increasing the pressure, and then this pressure is gradually decreasing and again becoming. So let's make one. Let's zoom in to get a clear view. So we will be starting thin and then gradually increasing pressure, and then going thin again. So no pressure, gradually increasing pressure, gradually decreasing pressure, no pressure. Okay. And once you feel comfortable making these transitions, practice on your own for some time, that you are getting confident. And these drills are very important in making transitions, especially this drill from thin to thick and to thin again. So let's move on to next practice, that is entrance stroke. It is known as entrance stroke. It has slight curve, if you notice, and it is only 1 unit tall, whereas others were all 2 units tall. This is 1 unit and this is 1 unit. So these are 2 units that are occupied and this is 1 unit. So let's see where it is beginning from. The dot is here and the directional arrow is going upwards. So we will be making curvy line like this. So the next one, when we are drawing, just keep in mind that we have a constant low pressure on our Apple Pencil so that the strokes are of equal quality and equally thin. It should not be like this or it should not be like this. So these are wrong ones. And when we are noticing again, make it all thin because it is going up, thin upward stroke. So when you are practicing and done tracing a lot many times, on your practice on your own here section, try to make it on your own. This is also known as entrance stroke, as we have discussed earlier, and it is used in almost all the alphabets, in all the letters in English alphabets. For example, letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, Y, Z all either start with entry stroke or they end with exit stroke. So if you acquire good quality of entrance stroke, it will help you in creating letters and connecting letters together. Next drilling exercise is thin to thick to thin left side curve. This is on the left side. It is coming like this. And it is starting from here thin and then gradually thickness is added and then again thin. Means the pressure is almost no pressure here when we are starting, and then gradually increasing pressure and then gradually decreasing pressure and making it a thin stroke. So this is how the stroke looks when we start and when we end. and in the middle it's thick, means we have to give pressure in the middle. So this works very well when we are working with ovals. So this will help you a lot. And when you feel that you are feeling confident in creating this, then practice on your own hair section. Try making some on your own so that you are sure that you are able to achieve that same result, the one you were getting above. Now last drill is this right side thin to thick and to thin curve. So we will start from here, as the dot suggests that it is coming down, starting from here coming down till here. So we will be starting from here and coming down and like this. So we will be creating thin, gradually increasing pressure and decreasing pressure and coming here. So this is how we are going to work with the right side curve. And in the practice on your own hair section, try a few such curves so that you are able to see how much you are able to achieve in these drills. Okay, so here is the section where all the drills are there and you can work on them, trace the way they are made, and then try all on your own hair in this section. So from thin to thick to thin, then this is entrance stroke, this is left side curve, this is right side curve. I would recommend you to practice these drills regularly to get good command over Apple Pencil and develop strong hand muscle memory. Now we are ready to start learning our basic calligraphy strokes. But first we will understand our guides on the guide sheet in our next lesson.